Okay, we have Daryl Hannah. She issues a scathing response to portrayal of her on a TV series about Kennedy and Bessette. Okay. So, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy was an American fashion publicist. She worked for Calvin Klein until her 1996 marriage to attorney and publisher John F. Kennedy Jr. Her life and fashion became sense, or her life and fashion sense became the subjects of intense media scrutiny. Afterwards, the couple, along with her older sister Lauren, died in a plane crash off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. So that's John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Okay. And John F. Kennedy Jr., I thought I had his tab up here, but I don't. American businessman and attorney, and the son of the 35th U.S. President John F. Kennedy and First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy. Okay. So Daryl Hannah, why is she upset? She is upset and has publicly criticized the FX slash Hulu series Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette for its appalling and inaccurate portrayal of her in a March 2026 New York Times opt. She denounced the show for painting her as an irritating, self-absorbed, whiny, and inappropriate person, arguing that this depiction is a damaging, misogynistic fabrication. So, how does she know John F. Kennedy Jr.? They first met in the early 1980s while vacationing with their respective families on the Caribbean island, oh, get this, of St. Martin. So there's another time Martin pops up. Martin pops up again. His birthday is next month, Martin Lawrence. But there's been a lot of that Martin name that I've been seeing lately. Anyways, JFK Jr. and Daryl Hannah were formally introduced by Hannah's stepfather, billionaire Gerald Wexler, who was a major donor to the political campaign of John's uncle, Senator Ted Kennedy. Despite this early meeting, they did not begin dating until they reconnected years later in 1988. So they began dating. So Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, John F. Kennedy Jr., died in a plane crash in 1999. I'm sure I'll look at that a little bit as well. And today is 3/9, March 9, as I make this. Okay. So I see a 3/9 here as I'm looking. The youngest child of William Joseph Bessette, uh, who was an articular engineer turned cabinet maker, and Anne Marie Messina. So her mom, Carolyn Bessette's mom, was born in 1939, right? And she was uh, an administrator in the New York City public school system. And New York equals 39. This was in my last video. And again, today is 3/9. New York equals 39. I mentioned that in my last video. Now that's her mother. And she died in that plane crash along with JFK Jr. She was age 33 And New York also equals 33. Okay, so her and John F. Kennedy Jr. die in this plane crash. Now, Daryl Hannah is upset of her portrayal. Who plays Daryl Hannah in this love story, this series? It is Dree Hemingway plays Daryl Hannah in the series Love Story. John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. She portrays the actress during her relationship with JFK Jr. Played by Paul Anthony Kelly in the series. So he plays JFK Jr. So I'm going to look at him real quick. Paul Anthony Kelly, actor. So this guy right here plays JFK Jr. in the show or whatever. Okay, so are we kind of like now into the decoding? Look at the thumbnail, man. I wish I would have showed you that. I wish I would have showed you that earlier. Do you like the thumbnail? I know you saw it when you clicked on the video. I really enjoy making these thumbnails. Check that out. I think that's a good one right there, okay? So we'll get back to that video, but I noticed this right away. I'm showing you all of this stuff, how it's connected, trending. So check this out. Daryl Hannah slams FX love story portrayal in New York Times essay. New York Times essay. Check it out right down there where the arrow is pointing to Jamie Lee Curtis. And you see her on the other side of the arrow. Jamie Lee Curtis supports Daryl Hannah after critique of Ryan Murphy's untrue love story. I guess that quote, I don't know, is that quote just her saying it's untrue? I don't know. But Jamie Lee Curtis is supporting Daryl Hannah. That's amazing. And we'll get to that after this slide. But Daryl Hannah has the birthday one day after Britney Spears, who is trending, because she has a memoir. So Britney Spears has a memoir out. Actually, that was Christina Applegate. You can see I'm getting all of these characters mixed up because they're all connected. Britney Spears got arrested for DUI. Okay? And that's trending. Her birthday is one day before Daryl Hannah. You see that? December 2nd, December 3rd. Now, back to Jamie Lee Curtis. So she's supporting Daryl Hannah in her critique of this love story and her portrayal, right? She's upset on how she was portrayed. Jamie Lee Curtis, Jamie Lynn Spears is Britney Spears' sister. So the birthdays one day apart, Britney and Daryl. Jamie Lee supports Daryl Hannah, and Jamie Lynn is Britney's sister. Isn't that amazing? Look at the names. Jamie Lynn, Jamie Lee. What do you think of this celebrity world? This stuff is so scripted. Even Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday, John F. Kennedy, the father of John F. Kennedy Jr., was assassinated on Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday. Come on, man. Come on, man. And you know what? John F. Kennedy Jr.'s birthday, he was born November 25th. Look at this. So, John F. Kennedy was assassinated 3 days before his son turned 3 years old. That You see that? So, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? That's absolutely incredible right there. So, Jamie Lee Curtis, again, look at that. Look at how these characters are brought together in these stories. And this coming November 22nd will be the 63rd anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Check that out. And that was in 63. Look at that. Assassinated in 63. Now we're coming up on the 63-year anniversary. Remember, Michael Jordan is born in 63, also 63 years old. So a lot of that Michael Jordan energy as well. All of these stories are they're scripted. This is a pattern that just recycles with other characters who are synced up. And check this out, talking about assassinations right there. JFK assassinated. Look at this. Jamie Lynn Spears. Look at her birthday. It's the Martin Luther King assassination anniversary. She was born on the anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. So you got two assassinations synced up here. He was born in 68, so 78, 88. So she was born 23 years after the Martin Luther King Jr. assassination, well, on the 23-year anniversary. And that 23 again connects to Michael Jordan, who connects to some of these powerful black figures in history. And he's also been trending lately. See that? Now he's talking about GOAT debate. Did they just sweep the NASCAR thing under the rug with the inappropriate touching, even though it was AI? And you got LeBron right there. So these black characters are all connected, powerful black figures in history. Michael Jackson, MJ, Michael Jordan. We just had Jesse Jackson die, right? LeBron nearing the end of his career. Michael Jordan with the NASCAR stuff. Jesse Jackson died on Michael Jordan's birthday. Isn't that amazing? That is amazing. He's, like I said, he was born the year JFK got assassinated in 63. And Michael Jordan scored 63 against the Celtics. In my opinion, probably his best performance or most memorable performance out of many. Now, look at this other character, Hannah Mae Curtis. Look at her birthday. It's December 9th. And Daryl Hannah's birthday, December 3rd. And look at it, there's a 30-year difference in their births. Well, Daryl Hannah born 30 years after, and Hannah Mae born in 30. But with the December 9 birthday, remember LeBron's birthday is December 30th. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? That's amazing. Now, this character, there's no widely known celebrity or public figure named Hannah Curtis. With a frequently searched birthday, Hannah Mae Curtis, born December 9th in Waco, Texas, was an obituary student, while another historic figure, Hannah Curtis, was born April 20th. So that just popped up right away when I was just kind of doing some research. So I wanted to share that because this is all like with the names, man. Okay? And you get a connection right there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 9. Amazing. Can you believe it? We're talking about Daryl Hannah, her being upset with this portrayal of her, in this new FX/Hulu love story, JFK Jr., Carolyn Bessette. Look at that. Daryl Hannah, Daryl Strawberry. Daryl Strawberry's birthday is the 12th month of the third day. Former baseball player. 1, 2, 3, 12th month, third day. Which is right around the corner, by the way. But Daryl Hannah has the 1, 2, 3 birthday, but it's December 3rd. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They both got the name Daryl. Remember, Daryl Hannah has a guy name, and she looks like a guy as well. I pointed that out in my last video. Let me pull her up real quick. I have to point it out. I mean, I'm not saying I'm offended or anything, but she's got some very manly features. Look at, here's one right here. Look at this. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's actually a generous photo of her as well. She really has some man face figures. Of course, all those images I saw aren't necessarily popping up. Here might be a decent one right here. And we know about all the rumors they give us about some of these supposed females in Hollywood. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but a very masculine face as well. And then her name is Daryl, so it's like, you know how they like to deceive us. This is also the Ozzy Osbourne birthday as well. So there might be some connections there also. December 3rd. He died July 22nd. The Prince of Darkness. John Michael. He's got Michael in his name like Michael Jordan. And he was born in 48. Michael Jordan was born on the 48th day of the year. So at the time of Ozzy's death, I know I connected him to Trump because Donald Trump equals 48. All these characters are connected when they hit with the same numbers like this, okay? Right? He co-founded in 1968 Black Sabbath. Basketball equals 68. You know, that's a godfather of heavy metal. Remember when LeBron was trending because he was like reading The Godfather, or he liked The Godfather, the book or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So you can go and find all of these connected. Black Sabbath, I mentioned the Black Power celebrities, you know, Michael Jordan, Jesse Jackson. I mentioned Michael Jackson, Jesse Jackson dying on Michael Jordan's birthday, right? MLK Jr. assassinated 4/4, and then Jamie Lynn Spears is born 4/4. So look, all of this stuff is connected. Prince of Darkness, right here. Britney Spears is the princess of pop trending. I'm telling you. And Carolyn Bessette, Kennedy, JFK Jr. Did they say wife? Or was it wife or girlfriend? JFK Jr. wife. Anyways, look at the birthday there. Yeah, they were married and they died in a plane crash. You know, that makes you think of like Kobe Bryant and the helicopter crash. Man, I haven't even looked into that. But look, her birthday is one day before Lou Holtz, who's trending with his death. She also has the Lamar Jackson birthday, and that's a Jesse Jackson connection again. Michael Jackson, MJ. Damn it, man. That's the Lamar Jackson birthday. All of these characters are connected. Damn. I'm telling you, man, they're all related or something. This is wild. You know, and Christina Applegate has the JFK Jr. birthday. And she's trending. I mixed her up earlier. Speaking of Britney Spears, because they're the same character. They're recycled characters, okay? If it worked one time, it'll work again. You see what I'm saying? Same birthday, trending at the same time. Now you see Joe Gibbs with the same birthday as well. I mentioned in the Lou Holtz breakdown that he looks an awful lot like Joe Gibbs. And Joe Gibbs has this same birthday. One other bonus here. Thank you for if you made it this far. This is all classic, amazing, go down in history information. You can see Saturday was March 7th, 3/7, and the last birthday of Daryl Hannah, the 337th day of the year, like 3/7. Wow. It is a fake world.
Appalling lies. That's what actress Daryl Hannah is saying about the new series depicting the love story of her ex-boyfriend, John F. Kennedy Jr., and his wife, Carolyn Bessette. Hannah has never publicly spoken about her relationship with the Prince of Camelot, but she says she's so angry she had to break her silence. Here's Allison Hall.
Actress Daryl Hannah is denouncing her unflattering portrayal in the hit TV miniseries Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. For decades, she's never spoken out about her 6-year relationship with JFK Jr. until now, and she's fighting mad. In a scathing opinion piece in today's New York Times, she asks, how can Love Story get away with this?
It's not enough to just show up, John.
The character Daryl Hannah portrayed in the series is not even a remotely accurate representation of my life, my conduct, or my relationship with John. In the FX series, she's pictured as the villain who comes between the legendary love story of JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. She's whiny and obnoxious. In this scene, she's doing a headstand at a cocaine-fueled party. I have never used cocaine in my life or hosted cocaine-fueled parties, the actress says. The actions and behaviors attributed to me are untrue.
They build you up and they take you down, you know. I mentioned Michael Jordan. What just went down with him.
Daryl Hannah has no love for FX's Love Story. The Kill Bill actress made her first public comments on Ryan Murphy's Love Story airing on FX, calling out the way it depicts both her and the end of her and John F. Kennedy Jr.'s 5-year relationship. Writing in a March 6 New York Times op-ed, the actress writes, quote, a recent tragedy exploiting television series about John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette
We're getting a lot of 33s, 66s, 3s, and 6s right now. There was a lot of 3s with that Lou Holtz death as well. A lot of 3s and 6s with Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Daryl Hannah's even born on the 3rd. LeBron and LeBron James equal 66 in the language. Lakers equal 66. He used to wear that 6 on his jersey. Fake world. I want to look at the plane crash real quick. JFK Jr., Carolyn Bessette plane crash. (1999) Martha Vineyards plane crash. July 16. I know I'm missing something with that date. July 16. A light aircraft John F. Kennedy Jr. was piloting crashed into the Atlantic Ocean off Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Kennedy's wife, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and sister-in-law Lauren Bessette were also on board and died. The Piper Saratoga departed from New Jersey's Essex County Airport Its intended route was alongside the coastline of Connecticut and across Rhode Island, sound to Martha's Vineyard Airport. Interesting. July 16. I see. All right, so again, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you. I mean, even if you just watched a couple of minutes, you got to see that this stuff is fake. Oh, and there's that 93. And today I'm recording this on the 9th day of the 3rd month because she made that statement about being upset about the portrayal 93 days after her birthday. And that 93 hit in the Britney Spears. Oh, I didn't even enter any of the gematria. I didn't even do any of the gematria in this because it was just so surface level that I just look at all of that we had just without the gematria. Okay, so I will enter a couple of things here real quick. Daryl, I think it's like that. Daryl has that 30 like 3 right there. See that right there? Daryl has the 30 like 3, which I just mentioned a few minutes ago. I want to make sure I'm spelling her damn name right. Daryl 1Y. That's it right there. There's that 60 like 6. I just mentioned the 3 and the 6 popping up. So look, her name equals 106. That's the Lou Holtz birthday, the 1st month and the 6th day. And I just showed you that connection. Right? I just showed you that. I just showed you that connection because Carolyn Bessette, her birthday is 1 day after Lou Holtz's birthday. Right? So look at that right there, you know. So I'll leave it at that with the numbers. You know, if Richard West is out there, I know he's been busy, but if he's watching this, he may have some more on that. But these decodes, the numbers are just like super icing on the cake. When you see the number match, it's incredible. Okay, so again, I want to put this energy out there on a fake platform. Maybe this goes down in history sometime, you know, as wow, this guy really decoded the fake world. But until then, this is my hobby. I'm truly confident in saying these stories are absolutely scripted. These are actors. Until next time.